Coming up on July 4th at the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, United States, Abdullah Mason will be making the first defense of his WBO World Lightweight Championship against former IBF Super Featherweight champion Joe Cordina. So, the challenger and former champion, Joe Cordina, has a record of 19 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He is 34 years old, 5 foot 9 inches with the 69-inch reach, and 9 of his wins come by way of knockout. On the other hand, there is Abdullah Mason, who is a recent champion, highly renowned, once highly renowned prospect, and now full-blown champion and contender. And he is 20-0-0 with 17 wins by knockout. He is also 5 foot 9 inches, and he has a 5-inch reach advantage in this fight. Let's analyze this one. This is a fun fight. So Cordina, he is not known for his power. He has 9 KOs out of 19 wins. It's a 47% KO ratio. Ultimately, I think that Cordina does not have the power advantage in this fight in the slightest. Cordina is a very good boxer puncher. He has good hand speed. I think his cardiovascular endurance in the ring is good. And he's fought for regional championships. He can easily beat European level fighters and British level fighters, so to speak. His last 2 fights were essentially against, I would say, European level fighters, where he won by clear-cut decisions. Cordina's only loss is to Anthony Cacace. Now, Cacace is a good fighter. Cacace had a questionable performance against Chazard Dickens in his last outing. However, Cacace has also had an extremely good winning streak, including his win over Cordina. Cordina was knocked down in this fight. He was basically dominated, I would say. He took some damage, some miles on the clock, but Cordina in his 2 comeback fights have shown that he still has a lot left to give, I would say. And that I think Cordina still is at a certain level in which he can be competitive. But in analyzing this fight, we have to really look at who Abdullah Mason is. According to BoxRec, who doesn't always really have the correct amateur records, BoxRec states that Abdullah Mason has a 38-8 amateur record, showing his extensive pedigree prior to turning professional. But it is in Abdullah's professional career and in which we see his potential future greatness. Abdullah Mason is a 22-year-old boxer who has shown that he can be one of the most complete fighters in the future. He is extremely sharp. He has good power, good hand speed, good reflexes, a defense that can definitely improve and definitely will improve. And overall, in the Sam Noakes fight, he showed that he has the heart to win a war. There are also fights such as his Johan Vasquez fight, in which Mason was down twice in round 1 from overconfidence and won in the second round, knocking Vasquez out. So Mason has certainly found adversity in the ring and has essentially faced opponents that have given him tough 12-round fights, tough 2-round fights, and he's moved up through the ranks in the lightweight division to achieve what he has achieved so far. Ultimately, I think that Mason is now taking another step up in competition against Joe Cordina. And I think Mason will pass with flying colors. I think that Cordina, as good as he is, just doesn't have the power and really the speed or the youth to contend with Abdullah Mason, who not only has an extremely well-rounded skill set, but a good amount of athleticism and physicality. And generally, considering Mason also has a longer reach and is much sharper, I would say, and that he's experienced quite a lot already, considering he's such a young fighter in some ways, that I think Mason will essentially dominate Joe Cordina. I think Cordina will give him a few tricks up his sleeve in the early rounds. I think Cordina's championship experience will prove to help him. But ultimately, I see Abdullah Mason probably stopping Joe Cordina at around round 9, similar to when Anthony Cacace stopped Cordina. I think Mason will probably have a little bit of a chess match in the first 3 rounds, trying to figure out Cordina a little bit. But I think by round 4, Mason will probably start getting comfortable. And ultimately, I think the only thing that will delay the knockout for Mason is that Cordina is a former champion who has a lot of heart and a lot of will to win. Therefore, I think Mason will eventually just be able to break Cordina down by round 9 and end the fight. So for my official prediction, I have Abdullah Mason winning this fight by 9th round knockout, technical knockout, maybe even retirement, I don't know, but I think it's going to end somewhere near round 9. Let me know what you think about this fight. I'm very excited to see Abdullah Mason back in the ring, and I'm excited to see Joe Cordina try for a second world title in a different weight class. This is Zachary Cloutier at Ringside.